Greetings, everyone, and sorry guys if I'm shaking the camera around and stuff, and sorry for the sniffles. I think I'm coming down with maybe a slight cold or like sinus congestion. So if I sound a little bit nasally, I do apologize, but I want to bring something up to you guys. I was flipping through because when I go to check my email, I tend to see that there's some news stories right ahead, as are most of our email browsers. You know, bring up little news stories. Well, I found this one that absolutely shocked and upset and angered me, because this is exactly what I'm trying to bring awareness to for people that don't know anything about autism. Now, first off, let me read this lady. Now, first off, let me read some comments from this story before I tell it to you. People were burned at the stake back then if they were mentally ill. This lady right here, I'm actually going to tilt the camera towards what this lady's saying. Now, now, if you can't really read that, let me actually just read it off for you. Oh, come on. They didn't do anything that bad. I'm sure his parents or foster parents do the same thing with that bastard. The lawyer and the media are trying to make it sound worse than it shows. What do you do with a kid who is bigger than you are and totally uncontrollable? See, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is why I bring autism awareness to you, the people that don't really know it or are not aware of what exactly happens. When I made that ignorant statement, or what can be interpreted as ignorant, that, well, oh, autistic people are no different from black people during the civil rights movement, I didn't say it out of shock value or ignorance. I say it because let me actually express this article for you guys. Okay? The article I am reading about is that apparently a young autistic boy who is approximately middle school age, apparently he was abused. Now, excuse me. Now let me explain this to you guys. Now, why do I bring this up? Because this kid was actually abused, not just by a special needs aide, but by the frickin' bus driver as well. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to post the link right here below, right in the comment box. Follow my finger. And I've also posted this to the closed group of the Adults with Asperger's group, because I feel that, you know, this is completely, utterly unnecessary. Like, what did the kid do? Oh, he threw his backpack. Well, you gotta understand one thing about those of us that live on the autism spectrum. You know, for those of you that don't know, I'm not calling you completely ignorant or stupid. But to give you a basic idea, some of us on the autism spectrum, especially the low functioning, are very non-verbal. Don't really respond well, or in their own world, all that stuff. High functioning, even high functioning people like myself don't really attend all that well to being social or just coming right out and saying what's the matter. Now, what angers me about this is that, you know, this kid was put in harness straps, and for those of you that have never been on a special needs bus, I have, of course, for many years when I went to elementary school and what have you. They have shoulder straps that are pretty much, they're basically kind of like a parachute harness. They go over your shoulders, around your stomach, right around like your legs and stuff. So, and this prevents them from rocking back and forth, doing harm to themselves or others. Keeps them nice and safe, but it restricts their arm and leg movement. This is what, and now this kid was buckled in. Apparently the aide decided to, having been irritated with him, I guess, whip him with a fly swatter, then allegedly sprayed an aerosol-like chemical into his eyes. And then apparently the bus driver put on a glove and tried to quote-unquote restrain him, but she didn't really restrain him. She grabbed him by the throat, started choking him to the point that it left marks, was punching him in the face repeatedly, and this kid is just sitting there crying, trying to put his arms and legs up to shield the blows, because he was also getting kicked on, and he can't do that. He's still getting hit in the face because he can't put his arms in front of his face. A child that is strapped in, defenseless, and being beaten within an inch of his life by two grown women, all because the kid was probably misbehaving. Now, I don't care if the kid was a brat. I don't care if the kid was... what's the word? Well, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the word would be if he was misbehaving, if he was acting out of context, whatever. But there is still no reason, no rhyme or reason to sit there and actually hit and abuse a child like that, bad or not. And if you can hear that in the background, that's my neighbor's stupid dogs barking. But, and apparently my dogs too. I do apologize for all that. But anyway, try to ignore that as best you can. But there is no reason for a child to be beaten on like that. Regardless if the kid is bad or not, you should never, ever sit there and do what these ladies did to that kid. And if you, and I can sit here and talk about it, but at the same time, like I said, link is below. You can check out the news article for yourself. Hopefully they will not take it down by the time some of you check it out. But I want to show this as proof to what I'm trying to get out and what I'm trying to make people aware of. Because when I say that autistic people were just as poorly mistreated as black people during the civil rights movement, I truly believe that. Now, I don't say it to the grand, over-exaggerated, dramatic extent that I mean it as, but I say it within the context because stories like this truly prove that point. Or even for abuse in general. You know, it's sad that stuff like this happens every year, and more need for awareness of stuff like this never happens. It really is. And you know what? I hope every bad thing that could possibly happen to these two women does, because that is just not only disgusting and deplorable, but it's downright inhuman. Seriously, we're not living in the Neanderthal area.